Welcome to the Julie Laughton Living Podcast, the place to get advice, tips, and tricks to building the life and luxury home of your dreams with 30-year business owner, designer, and builder, Julie Laughton. It all starts with a good plan. This is Julie Laughton Living.
Welcome back to the Julie Laughton Living Podcast. Today we're going to talk about custom home remodeling versus moving. This means staying in your home and making it work. Please don't forget to check out my 7 simple steps. The links are located below on your screen. Also, don't forget to check out my 7 simple steps. The links are located below, and you just simply have to click on julielaughtonliving.com. The biggest question a lot of my clients ask, because they call about, their remodel, and their first question is, how much is this going to cost? How much is it going to take? And then we get into the whole thing of, hey, what if I just moved? Because sometimes it's too overwhelming for them to think about ripping their whole house apart, because then they got to move out, they got to find a place to live, and then they got to come back, and it's a lot of money involved. So we discuss, what would it look like to move? So in most cases, nobody moves, because when you move, you got to relocate your whole family to a new neighborhood, new neighbors, new schools, new grocery store, new everything, new distance travel to work. So moving is really not an option unless people are into moving for a reason and they need to relocate. And usually that's to another city or another whole thing. I mean, most people don't move. They stay in their home and they make it work for them. So it's a complete different ball game when you move, because here's what happens when you move. The house isn't custom designed for you, and you got to remodel anyway. So that's what happens when people realize moving doesn't work. If they're overwhelmed with their remodel, it's better to fix what you have, unless there's another situation where you're actually moving to downsize, and that's a whole thing. Or you're empty nesters, your kids are gone, so that's different. But yeah, moving is a lot different than remodeling, but you still have to remodel. Well, the best thing about staying where you're at is your house, you know what works, you know what doesn't work, you know what you're dealing with, you know what you're working with. So when you remodel your own home, you can actually customize exactly, because you know exactly what's wrong with it. You know exactly, what you can and can't do by now, because you probably interviewed a million people and you've talked about it and thought about it. So you get it. So you're golden. But when you move, then you got to start over, and then you got to remodel the house you moved to, because you need to customize it, because no house is done just perfect for you. Then you got to furnish it, because hey, your old furniture might not fit. So it's a whole different set of challenges when you actually move. But when you stay in your own home, it's kind of comfortable, because you know your home. It's like an old friend, and you know everything about it. So that's what makes it nicer to stay in your own home. Well, when you move, you got to customize the new home how you live, right? So I have a client now that's moving, and the home was technically remodeled before they bought it. So they still got to customize it, though. They didn't like the wood floors. They don't like, the some of the designs in the other bathrooms, even though technically everything's practically new. So, but it's dated. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's dated. So everything has to be updated visually to reflect what their style is, what their look is. And then you improve the function by, changing things and closet designs, every little custom detail you need to make it work for you and your stuff. So it's a huge effort. So every room is addressed. So you don't get off the hook just because you move. You gotta customize it for you. When you move, you gotta adjust things. Like, you're going to move to a new neighborhood. You got to get a new grocery store. Hey, maybe your kids are changing schools, or maybe not. And maybe it's the same school, but your neighborhood's new. All your neighbors are new. So, and maybe it's a more upscale neighborhood, or maybe it's a gated community. So it's a whole new, maybe set of rules and a whole new, rules to follow. So the lifestyle change, maybe the new house has a pool and a spa and a whole nother, all these new amenities. So you're upscaling your personal life and things you can do for your health benefits. So the move should improve your life and should be better for you, whether it's downsizing or upsizing or a better view, or like I said, the pool, the spa, the whole thing. So there's got to be a reason that it improves your life and fits what you need today for the next chapter, because some people stay in their homes forever. Other people move every few years or every 10 years, every time there's a life-changing event. Like I said, the kids move out, jobs change, things like that. So many reasons, but the move should be an improvement. So when you decide to stay in your home, again, it's your house, it. It's like an old friend. There's nothing you don't know about your house, but the thing is to remodel your home and really make it work for you. It could mean a total gut because everything's old, everything's outdated visually. The cabinets are falling apart. The whole list goes on and on. So most time when people remodel, it's a total gut because it's been 20 years or even 10 years and things don't work and life has changed and you really just need a new, fresh look and everything to work and work forever. Because when we come into remodel, we do 5-star quality. So our stuff lasts. Most builder tract homes and the average home has stuff in it that doesn't last more than 10 years. It starts to fall apart. When we do it at 5-star, it lasts forever. Lifetime hinges, lifetime the finishes. I mean, all you need is touch up. So it's a whole nother ball game when you actually do custom high-end 5-star, because then you get quality and lifetime maintenance and it's bulletproof. So the point is when you do a remodel, it's like you have to start over and you have to go in and dig deep. What do I need? What do I have to do? What I should do, what I shouldn't do. It's like a whole analysis before the plans are done. And then once the plans are done, we just build it and create it. But that process is in depth and you really have to scour what I need, what do I don't need, what should I do, what I shouldn't do, what's my look, what's my style. That's a whole extensive process, just like house therapy, because you really have to go to in every nook and cranny and every square inch of the house and evaluate and go through this. It's 1,000 decisions to make. The difference between a custom home remodel and moving is there's added steps when you move and more changes and more adjustments when you move. So I always recommend staying in your house and making your house great if you don't need to move and downsize or change completely. But it's the same process, but there's more steps when you move because you're relocating yourself and your life. So good tips to think about is just make a list of what I need and don't need, and then you'll come to a quick conclusion whether I should stay or whether I should go. So it's a wonderful process, but it's a process. Don't forget to take my free course, The 7 Simple Steps to a Successful 5-Star Remodel or Custom Home Build. These 7 steps will open your eyes to what's needed so you actually are ready when you start your process. And don't forget to check the links. They're right below on the screen. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Julie Laughton Living Podcast.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Julie Laughton Living. For more information or to connect with Julie one-on-one, visit julielaughtonliving.com. And don't forget, it all starts with a good plan.